Right now, hurtling farther away from us than any object we've ever made is a kind of message in a bottle, one that we've tossed into the vast cosmic ocean. This is the incredible story of the Voyager Golden Record.
So take a look at this. This is the Voyager 1 spacecraft. It was launched all the way back in 1977, and it has now officially left our solar system and crossed into interstellar space, that huge, empty ocean between the stars. And strapped to its side is a very, very special passenger, a phonograph record plated in gold.
Now just pause and think about that for a second. Seriously, if you were in charge of picking the sounds, the music, and the pictures to represent our entire planet to a total stranger, maybe an alien civilization, what on earth would you choose? That was the absolutely monumental task facing the team behind this golden record.
So where do you even start with a question like that? Well, NASA got a small committee together, led by the one and only astronomer Carl Sagan, to create this unbelievable message to the stars.
And this is what they came up with, the Voyager Golden Record. You can think of it like a greatest hits album for planet Earth. It's basically a greeting card to the cosmos, designed to tell anyone who might find it who we are, what our world sounds like, and what it's like to be alive here.
You know, the official message that was included from President Jimmy Carter at the time really just captures the whole spirit of the mission perfectly. This wasn't a threat or a demand. It was a gift. It was a gesture of friendship sent from a tiny planet in a gigantic universe.
Okay, so sending a record into space is one thing, but how would anyone, or anything, have a clue what to do with it? Well, the answer is etched right onto its cover. It's basically an instruction manual of cosmic genius.
These symbols, they aren't just there to look cool. No way. Every single line and circle is a piece of a puzzle, a set of instructions that were designed to be understood by any intelligent civilization that might be out there.
It's honestly brilliant. Check this out. The diagram of a hydrogen atom, which is the most common element in the entire universe, that gives you a fundamental unit of time. Using that tiny tick of a clock, binary code then tells the finder exactly how fast to spin the record. It even shows them where to put the needle. And, this is the really clever part, how to turn some of the audio signals back into the 116 pictures that are encoded on the disk.
But the most audacious part has to be the map. See that starburst pattern? That's a map of 14 pulsars. Think of them like cosmic lighthouses, each with its own unique pulse rate. By triangulating their positions, the finder could pinpoint the exact location of our sun in the galaxy. We literally included a return address.
Okay, so let's imagine an alien civilization finds the record. They decipher the instructions and they drop the needle. What are they actually going to hear? Let's dive into Earth's planetary playlist.
The team put together this incredible tapestry of sound. It kicks off with greetings in 55 different languages, from ancient Akkadian to modern Mandarin. Then it moves into the sounds of our planet itself, wind, rain, the calls of birds and whales, before it gets to our own sounds. Footsteps, a mother's kiss, laughter, and, of course, music. Music from all over the globe, from Bach to Chuck Berry.
Now, as you can imagine, the selection process had some debates. At one point, a colleague argued against including Chuck Berry's Johnny Be Good, calling rock and roll adolescent. But Carl Sagan's reply was just perfect. He said, "There are a lot of adolescents on the planet." So the song made the cut.
But one of the most famous bands on Earth is missing. Sagan and the team really wanted to put Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles on there, and the band members were all for it. But they didn't own the copyright. That belonged to their record label, EMI.
So when NASA asked for permission, EMI sent back a telegram. They wanted a licensing fee of, get this, $50,000. For a project with such a tiny budget, it was just impossible. It's a pretty wild example of how a very earthly problem, copyright law, ended up shaping humanity's message to the stars.
All right, so beyond all those amazing sounds, the record also carries a visual story of our world, encoded right into the grooves. It's basically a slideshow for the stars.
The 1116 images on there present this amazing visual summary of our world. You've got scientific diagrams of our solar system and our DNA, photos of huge landscapes and incredible structures like the Arecibo Observatory, and just simple, intimate scenes of humans eating, drinking, and just living their lives from cultures all over the planet.
Now, one of the big challenges was how to actually show what humans look like. See, NASA had gotten some public criticism for the nude figures on the earlier Pioneer plaque. So this time around, a photograph of a nude man and woman was rejected. The compromise they came up with was this scientific diagram, which shows anatomically correct male and female figures, but in a more clinical, sort of evolutionary context.
So this message in a bottle was launched way back in 1977. Where in the universe is it now? And what does its future even look like?
The timescales we're talking about here are just mind-boggling. After launching in '77, Voyager 1 didn't even officially leave our cosmic neighborhood until 2013, and its next close-ish encounter with another star system, that won't happen for about 40,000 years. This message was truly designed for the long, long haul.
And so it just keeps going. A silent ambassador, carrying the sounds of our world through the endless cosmic dark. The odds of it ever actually being found are, well, they're infinitesimally small. But maybe that's not really the point.
Like Carl Sagan himself said, the very act of making and sending this message says something profoundly hopeful about us. It shows that our species, for all its flaws and all its divisions, could actually come together to create one single, beautiful greeting and just cast it out into the universe, hoping that someone might be listening.
This record is really a portrait of us, frozen in time, in 1977, now traveling toward a future none of us can possibly imagine. I mean, by the time it gets anywhere near another star, our civilization might be totally unrecognizable. So the real question isn't just what it says about who we were, but what will this message, which will last for 1 billion years, say to us, its own distant descendants, about the hopeful, curious species we once were?